בעזרת השם. בסדר רבי נשחי, הלכות שבת. אם אין לו יין כלל, you were sure they have wine. Your wife thought, you're going to buy the wine. You come to the table, there's no wine. אז אין לו יין כלל, he doesn't have wine at all. In this case, on Friday night, he says, יקדש על הפת, you make a kiddush on the chalot. How can you make a kiddush on the chalot? וכך יעשה. This is what you should do. ייטול ידיו בשביל ברכת המוציא. Normally, you do kiddush and then you wash your hands. But in the case you don't have wine, you would have to wash your hands with the bracha before kiddush. So you go to the sink, 1, 2, 3, everybody go and they wash their hands, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. שקידשנו מצוותיו וציוונו על נטילת ידיים. Says the Rabbi Nishchai. ואחר כך, he comes to the table and he stands up and he picks up the chalot which are on the tray, right? They're on the tray. You pick up the tray with the chalot and he says, ויאמר ויחולו, and then you start kiddush. The regular kiddush. ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוקים ביום השביעי. Now, when he gets to the middle of the kiddush, what do you have in the middle? Savrim Aranam, Bore Priya Gefen. But you don't have Gefen. Over there, where you were supposed to say Bore Priya Gefen, since you don't have wine, you would say, Baruch Ata Hashem, Elokeinu Cholam, Hamotzi Lechem Mina Aretz. But normally, when you say Motzi Lechem Mina Aretz, you cut. Over here, you cannot cut, because you're in the middle of kiddush. So what do? In this case, you would continue the kiddush, right? ויאמר אז ברכת הקידוש בעוד שתי ידיו על הפת, holding always the chalot with 2 hands, ובוצע ואוכל. When you reach the end of the ברוך אתה השם מקדש השבת, you put it down and then you start slicing your challah. Why did you have to wash your hands before kiddush? Because you have to make hamotzi in the kiddush. And then it's going to be an interruption that you're going to have to go and wash, right? So therefore, what do you have to do? You have to wash your hands before. Instead of Bore Priya Gefen, you say Bore Amotzi Lechem, you say Amotzi Lechem Mina Aretz, right? And then you continue, you don't eat right away, you wait till the end, and by the end, you're going to sit down and cut the motzi, right? This is in the case when you don't have wine. So your Kiddush, what's Kiddush? Kiddush is sanctification, the Kadesh, to sanctify, right? So you sanctify the day. What are you sanctifying? Not the wine. You're sanctifying the day with the wine. So if you don't have wine, you would sanctify the day with the challah, right? With the challah, you're going to sanctify it. So it says over here, but you have to make sure always to keep your 2 hands on the challah. You remember by the kiddush we said, you do kiddush with 1 hand, the right hand. You get it from another person with 2 hands, you hold it with 1 hand, and you do kiddush with 1 hand. When you do kiddush on the challah, it's very important to put your 2 hands, right? The Rabbi Nishchai repeats this halakha on a regular weekday, right? When we do amotzi, always with 2 hands. Always when you want to make amotzi lechem haaretz, you always have to have your 2 hands on the bread, right? Why? Because there's 10 melachot, 10 labors that you have to do before getting to bread. You have to plow, you have to put the seed, you have to irrigate, you have to cut the wheat, you have to grind the wheat. There's 10 melachot till you get bread. So always important to put your 2 hands on the bread. And when you do kiddush on the bread, therefore you would have to put your 2 hands, right, on the bread. Kol zeu balayla. Said the Rabbi Nishchai, this whole thing is at night. At the daytime, if you don't have, how do you call this? If you don't have wine, what do you do in the daytime, right? So some would make the kiddush on chamar medina, on beer, okay? So what's the kiddush on Shabbat morning? There's a lot of pesukim, there's a lot of verses, right? So you do the pesukim. At the end, instead of saying Savrim Aranan, Bore Priya Gefen, he would say Shakol Niya Bidvaro. You don't have to say Savrim Aranan either. You just say plain. Baruch Ata Hashem, Elokeinu Chaolam, Shakol Niya Bidvaro. That's when you have beer. Now, why do we say beer and not other stuff? Because when you do Kiddush, The one saying the Kiddush Friday night, Shabbat in the morning, holidays, the one saying Kiddush has to drink he has to drink Revi'it. He has to drink 3 ounces. If he can't drink 3 ounces, 86 ml, right, 84 ml, he has to drink Rov Revi'it. Rov Revi'it means when he puts it in his mouth, the liquid has to fill up 1 cheekful, right? Now, when you drink whiskey, when you drink machia, right, you cannot drink, unless you are a connoisseur, you're a big drinker. Who can drink a full cup of whiskey? כל הכבוד, אשריכם ישראל. But normal people cannot do that. Cannot do that. Drink a full cup like this of whiskey. No, you can drink a cup of whiskey, but no one would drink it in one shot.
In one shot, yeah.
In shot, you cannot drink. You'll fall.
Honestly, you're supposed to enjoy from that.
Exactly. So people drink it slowly, right? Since you can drink it slowly, it does not have 3 ounces, 1 shot. So therefore, you need a Chamar Medina. You need alcohol drink that you can drink 1 shot. The one after.
They put it wine.
Exactly. And if not, what's second option? Beer. Beer you can drink in 1 shot, right? Friday night, the Shulchan Aruch brings a machloket, a discussion. Could you use beer or not? So therefore, they say. So he said. The Doraita, right? Friday night, it's a machloket. So therefore, the Shulchan Aruch says, I want to avoid this discussion, and I prefer you should do the Kiddush on Chalot, on the bread, on the Chalot, Friday night, if you don't have wine. But in the morning, right? In the morning, they say, Chamar Medina, you should use anything with alcohol. Anything with alcohol can be beer also, right? It can be beer also. Therefore, he says, you should make the Kiddush on beer. Now, Ashkenazim have the custom to do Kiddush on whiskey or on vodka, right? They have a custom. Now, they cannot drink 1 shot. Says the Mishnah Brura, it's a custom. It's an Ashkenaz custom. It's an Ashkenaz custom. And why is that? Because in Russia, in Poland, in all those places, Europe, they didn't have wine. Grapes grow in hot places.
Right.
Like the Mediterranean, right? Morocco, Spain, all those regions, right? So Sephardim always had wine. Right. Ashkenaz did not have wine. So they had to use vodka, whiskey, right? Tequila is something, right?
No?
Okay. So because...
I'm not come from Europe. I come from Fez.
Okay. So anyways, to tell you, this is why, right? We don't use other stuff besides wine, but when you don't have wine, you would be able to use also the Chamar Medina